What I'm trying to say in the final analysis, once we take control of ourselves, we have to stop being imitators and be innovators. And realize we've got a continent 12 million square miles. Wherever our bodies are on the face of this earth, our cultural and political heartbeat is in Africa. Whether you ever go to Africa or not, that is your home, that is the home of your spirit, and that is the heart and meaning and definition of your commitment. And none of us, any place in the world, will be free until that continent is free.
The Mossy Warrior Clan was created because myself and others like Brother Nahisi saw a need for a young African group to analyze information concerning the African phenomenon with no bias, with rigor, and with scholarship. We created the Mossy Warrior Clan for the purpose of being an expert research team, of being a team that produced products, a team that was capable of producing products for African people globally to dispel myths, rumors, and provide them with accurate scholarship.
How the fuck y'all find an African in my fucking family, but y'all ain't find
his
y'all?
own genealogy.
Shut the fuck up. That don't make sense, for one. Listen, y'all don't know what y'all
I
did.
don't feel like you standing on business.
Y'all lied on me, because y'all don't even know if that's me. And if y'all can trace that shit back to it's me, it's only 2 people in YouTube that got my information.
Yeah, he died by his own genealogy. You ain't an Indian, you ain't got a lot of meat. Half of this track, best believe you lose a lot of sleep. Probably because you made it up to us honestly. You ain't a Cherokee, nope. You ain't a Chickasaw, nope. You ain't a Blackfoot, nope. Nigga, get lost. You just a fool with low comprehension. So I gotta come through with the henchmen. NAC, Sean P, Shy Son, Lucky. Don't forget Jay, got no time to play. Caught an apple slipping with his genealogy. Now he's a con and I ain't talking about a singer. I'm coming for the top apple leader. He ain't a teacher, he's a preacher. He can't keep up, so we leave him. Yeah, he died by his own genealogy. You ain't an Indian, you ain't got a lot of me. Half of the track, best believe you lose a lot of sleep. Probably because you made it up to us possibly. You ain't a Cherokee, no. You ain't a Chickasaw, no. You ain't a Blackfoot. Nigga, get lost. You just a fool with low comprehension. So I gotta come through with the henchmen. NAC, Sean P, Shy Son, Lucky. Don't forget Jay, got no time to play. Caught an apple slipping off his genealogy. Now he's a con. OTK. TKO. Now he's a con. OTK. You died. TKO. Genealogy.
Street Sutek tried to line it up. And he was like, I don't debate y'all. Y'all too disrespectful. Aboriginal Power won't even debate Sean because he's too disrespectful.
He is though. No, he really is though. I can't really like you, bro. You cool. Not a coincidence. I actually chop it up with But niggas that come off too heated and disrespectful, like I said, I'll debate you, bro, but we gotta get in the ring first. If you want to be disrespectful like that, at least disrespect me in the ring, bro. Let's start now, bro. Can you disrespect me in a cage, bro? Like, I'd rather just do that. Then we go straight from the cage. You know what I mean? Put your ice on the way to the motherfucking computer, and we'll debate directly after that, nigga. Shit.
That's why I don't need these. Fucking with the nigga and shit. You feel me? Like, I'm not twisted. It's like, wait, bro, talk like, hey, man. We gotta get face to face with you to talk to you like that, my nigga.
Yeah, Peanut. You feel me? That's the truth. Go ahead, I got my brother already. Peanut, what's the word, my brother? What's the champ?
Yeah, I appreciate you, man, but Lucky, let me say this, man. First of all, I'm an older brother. I'm young in spirit because I stay in shape. But I'm older. I deserve respect. Don't lie on me. You're not going to get nowhere lying because that's what's going to make you fall face first. Second of all, I'm well known in the Pan-African community. I'm not nobody new. You're younger than me. You don't know this. I didn't put in work and expose Rob Bourne, Sutek, any of them people over there. They know it deep down inside. And I'm gonna be long-winded. I'm a Moorish American. I already had back and forth with them dude. They erased videos. I'm not running from anybody. Don't ever say that stupid shit again. Third, and last but not least, I'm not losing no debate to no Pan-African. So don't ever say that shit again, famo. And that's it. Appreciate y'all, man.
You heard it. If Sean P want to debate, don't come debate the champ over there, right?
Sutek wanted so this like it's a pecking order. It's a pecking. So Sean want you, and Sutek want him. You say PMF ain't
It's no problem. It's no problem, man. Let's set up a Sutek debate, man. I don't like him anyway.
Okay, so I love that one, brother. I love that warrior mentality.
That's how it's going. I love you. Tell Sutek. Tell me. It ain't nothing. My champ always in the chat. I'll pop in. We'll set a topic. We'll set a date. We'll make it pay-per-view. We'll chop it up behind the scenes. I get their contact. We'll make it work. He ain't ducking no favors, bro.
But that's what I'm saying. He do this over here on y'all channel. But then when we get in other
Hey, alright, I will block your ass, nigga, because I'm well known for disrupting them chats over there. Nigga, stop fucking lying, nigga. You a goofy, nigga. I would never let a lame ass nigga lie on me in my face, clown.
You gonna block me and I don't be
It ain't no time I ain't ever been on the Pan-African channel and made my impact. Stop lying. I'm a real man, bro. Stop lying, fam. Don't do PNF like that.
PNF, he trying to trigger you, brother. And
world the fuck up.
But listen, he did that to me, talking about, oh, word on the street, I'm ducking you, John P. I've never even had but one conversation with this little disrespectful motherfucker.
Oh, okay, yeah, he a little hot. He like that.
So he like...
What's good with everybody, man? It's your boy Sean P in the place to be. It's time to put a lot of shit to rest. Like the show, share the show, tell a friend, we're live. Peace to everybody in the building at this particular moment, man. Those of you who will catch the replay, like, share, subscribe. Like, share, subscribe. So listen, I know it's late, but it's midnight with the Mossy. You know, those people on the East Coast, you know what I'm saying? It's another day for you. Those of you on the West Coast,
You still getting it in. You know what I'm saying? It's 9:30. You still trying to, find some entertainment. Those of you who in the mountain, you know what I'm saying? It's 10:30. You're like, what can I do? What can I see? Well, I'm live. And I'm here to talk to you about Aboriginal power, avoiding the fade. Now, I know that you like, how's he avoiding the fade? Well, I did comment on a previous debate that YK the Truth had. And then he said that he was ready, that I needed to get in contact with Not a Coincidence. Not a Coincidence been told this dude that I've been ready. We were supposed to debate months ago. You still need time, bro? You still need to be making these excuses like this out here for these people, bro? What are we doing? What up, Mo? Dr. Mo? Dr. Monique in the chat. I'm ready for the topic, bro. I've been ready. White slaves of America. Did blacks or Native Americans own white slaves? I'm ready for that smoke. You got your minions in your chat blocking me, erasing my comments, doing all these other things. So I can't have a direct dialogue because if I get on your panel, you won't let me talk only for a little bit before you start cutting me off. And then I'm going to challenge everything that everybody else got to say because they just up with y'all. So the only fair way for me to be able to communicate with any of you busters is through a teaching moment. You understand me? Because I know that during a teaching moment, I'm going to be quiet for 20 or 30 minutes. I'm going to mute my mic because I'm going to be taking notes and then I'm going to be beating up your bullshit. And so you got to sit there for 20 or 30 minutes or however long your rounds is, and you got to hear me eat. Last time he said he was on vacation, that he was with a gal or whatever the case. I don't know, bro. Said he had to go back home, have some business with a female. I don't know. Cap. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he said, yeah. This is what he tried to be cool and say in the chat. He tried to say that right here. Because he had him. Yeah. Come on, bro. So what I want to do is, how many people in the chat, if you can put a 1 in the chat if you're seeing YK the Truth, the video series that he's doing about stupid stuff that Aboriginals say. I mean, I think the one that he did today was pretty good because he just pulling clips and then breaking them down and then giving the backstory of all of that. I think he can continue to do that. And everybody need to continue to support that. So if you have or have not seen YK, if you haven't seen YK the Truth recent video, man, go support that video. Real good work. I don't know what Not a Coincidence said. He kind of been low key, but you know what I'm saying. He going through a thing too. You know, I don't know if he been on them other people channel arguing with them. I don't even know if he up right now. Lucky was supposed to do a show. I ain't seen nothing from Lucky. Whoa. You know what I'm saying? So let's get into a little bit of work, bro. Let's get into a little bit of work. I want to go back to the 1500s real quick. So many of y'all probably seen, maybe you haven't seen, but I put up a post in the community page of this image right here. This one right here. I'm gonna show y'all more on this image, but I want to show y'all this image right here. Right. And let me tell y'all how to get to the image. So you can copy you can copy it right there. Just copy it, pull you up a Google tab, put the title in there, right? Put the title in your Google tab. Y'all, I know y'all can't see my screen, but I'm just telling y'all how to do it. Then hit search, and then you can find the primary. So your list will look something like this, right? But it's in this book. But you can go through and see you see the images right here. So you could click on this image right here. Should be able to find you other images where you can get to the actual primary. And as you can see right here, it's telling you what's going on in that scene. It's African slaves that's in that scene. But somebody tried to challenge that when I posted it to say that it was something else other than that, and it was illegitimate, when all they had to do was search the image. And there's an image that's bigger, you know, and go through and provide more clarity on what's going on. So you can look through all of those images, and then you can kind of cross-reference it. But you'll see African slaves working on a sugar plantation in Spanish West Indies, copper engraving, and then it's going to give you the rest of the painting. You know, there's no capitalistic going on right there. That's what I'm saying. No cap. Now, let me get back to the why I did this. Now, hold on real quick. Let me show y'all who Theodore is. So this is Theodore right here. The dude responsible for that. Theodore DeBry. He was born in 1528. He died in 1598. He was an engraver, goldsmith, editor, and publisher, famous for his depictions of early European expeditions to the Americas. One more time. Theodore DeBry was an engraver, goldsmith, editor, and publisher, famous for depictions of early European expeditions to America. The Spanish Inquisition forced DeBry, a Protestant, to flee his native Spanish-controlled southern Netherlands. He moved around Europe, starting from his birth into the city of Liege and the Prince of Bishop Liege, then to Strasbourg, Antwerp, London, and Frankfurt, where he settled. He created a large number of engraved illustrations for his books. Most of his books were based on firsthand observations of explorers. Even if DeBry himself, acting as a recorder of information, never visited the Americas. To modern eyes, many of his illustrations seem formal but detailed. So that's how he made his living. You know what I'm saying? Doing all his do. And you see some of his engravings and things of that nature through the eyes of the explorers. So he has a lot of work. So that just lets you know who he is. You can go a little bit further into that if you would like to. I know I didn't share the wiki article, but I read off who he was, and as you can see on the screen, that is him. And as you can see, that painting comes up again. It comes up again and again and again and again. So you can go through, make sure you got the right painting. Make sure you got the right painting. You know what I'm saying? And then you can get into that. So I just want to kind of share that with y'all real quick. All right, so now we know who the bra is, we can move forward. But the primary is found in John Carter Library University, and it'll give you some information on that. So, like I said, we in the 1500s. So this is the enslaved Indians of the Spanish Caribbean reports and accounts of 1495 to 1544. This is going to deal with primary information. I'm just letting y'all know that right now. This is not secondary, tertiary. This is primary. This isn't spectacle, hallucination. This ain't none of that. What's going on, Vosh? So, the Comendador de Mayor gave orders for the establishment and settlement of a town in Jaragua, if I say that right, which is now named Verapaz Chupice. Diego Velasquez also founded a town in the province of Hanaguyaba on the south coast and called it Salvatierra de la Sabana. Another town was founded by order of the Commander Mayor, also on the south coast. The preparation of sites in the various places was not done by Spaniards with shovels in their hands, not by their sweat and labor, for none of them even knew how to level the ground. It was the Indians, constrained by them and terrorized by the massacres, who did all the work, laid out the sites, built the houses, and cleared the ground for cultivation. And so the Comendador Mayor began to follow the policy that Francisco Roldan had inaugurated, that the Admiral Columbus had tolerated, and that the Commander Bobadilla had strengthened and extended. That was to compel the Indians to build the houses and dig the grounds that the Spaniards required and do whatever else they wanted. Not only essential services, but many unnecessary tasks as well. In short, the Spaniards began to behave as though they were the natural rulers and as though the Indians were their subjects and vassals, or rather their chattel, slavery. You can find this from Fray Bartholomew de las Casas' Historia de las Indias de Nueva España y Isla, or that's island, de Terra Firme in 1561. When I told y'all we're dealing with primary, that's how we're going. Hold on, I had to take my glasses off for a second. Now, in the past, this is in regard to Cuba. Earlier was Hispaniola. In the past, the treatment of the Indians was very bad. Now it is better because they are needed. Since the Spaniards are supported by their services, and if they are treated harshly, they hang themselves or let themselves die. They do not give much work, especially when they extract gold, since they are given sustenance and real silver coin every day. If they were free, they would just be idle and fight, which would cause the loss of live souls and the property of settlers, and your majesty would lose an island. Although this does not produce revenue, now it is important to preserve it. And if the Indians were freed, within 2 years, there would be few settlers left in the towns of Puerto del Príncipe, Saint Spiritus, Trinidad, Baracoa, and even Bayamo. Thus, the latter than Havana would be the only towns left, and the island would become impassable because the thickness of the forest would close the roads, though your majesty would not have to pay the governor, bishop, clergy, or officials, since we would all leave. That is a report from the Bishop of Santiago on his inspection of Cuba in 1544. Now, just to be more clear, the excerpted in images added by the National Humanities Center in 2006. You can click here, go to those images, and get your just due. Therefore, you can see these actual documents that are also in this document here. So the Bahamas, 1515. Those Spaniards, Indians in the gold mines and other forms of killing labor saw that their numbers dwindled every day and that they were dying out. Having no thought beyond their own material interests and the loss of the disappearance of Indians might cause them, they hit on the idea of bringing in people from other islands to take the place of those who perish here in order to keep the mines and other businesses enterprising going. When the Indians arrived, mostly at Puerto de Plata and Puerto Real on the north or opposite of Lucayas, they were disembarked and divided into lots according to the size of the investment that each of the adventurers had made. The old with the young, the sick with the healthy, for many fell sick at sea and even died of hunger, thirst, and close confinement below decks in that hot climate. In the lots, no attempt was made to keep together wives, husbands, nor parents and children, for more account was made of them if they had been indeed the lowest of animals. That is also from Las Casas, in the same source mentioned above about the Bahamas. Back to Hispaniola. All right. So some say that your highness should command all the Indians of this land to be set free entirely, so that no Spaniard might employ their labor except by their own free will. Their welfare should be entrusted in religious persons and who had instructed them in the Holy Catholic faith and teach them to live according to their customs. This policy would also bring great gains because the Indian population would within a few years be greatly increased. And since they would be Christians and better instructed in our customs, they are at present, they would be more valuable subjects, your highness and your descendants. If this policy is not followed, on the other hand, they will die out. And this would be a serious loss to your highness, to say nothing of inhumanity of leaving your vassals to die. There can be no doubt that this is what will happen. The present day decline in the numbers is unmistakably warning. All the settlers of Hispaniola beg your highness to give them permission to import Negroes. One more time. All the settlers of Hispaniola beg your highness to give them permission to import Negro slaves. So there were no Negro slaves here. There were Indian slaves. But because the Indians were dying out, they were asking everybody who was settlers of Hispaniola to beg for permission to import Negroes. Let's go further, because they say that the Indians do not provide them with enough labor to be able to support themselves. It seemed to all of us, 3 monks who served on the island governors, that it would be good for them to be imported on conditions that there be as many or more women as men, and that they are brought straight from where? Africa. So the Negro that they are referring to had to come directly from Africa, and they needed more women than men. Now, let me continue. Rather than being raised in Castile, Spain, or other places, because those who are turned out rogues, this will be a great benefit for your highness revenues, which will otherwise decrease steadily, and it will relieve the Indians of much of their labor if they remain in Comedias, a government-created Indian settlement assigned to Spanish settlers. Also, the settlers will be more firmly rooted when they find that they have their own property, which cannot be taken away from them. If your highness decides that this should be conceded, it should be commanded that the blacks be brought from certain lands where their customs and conditions are known to be better, and not from others where they are usually bad. What up, 93? Fortune. What up, what up, what up, what up? So, just real quick, our first goes back to primaries, but our first article is informing us that, yes, these Spanish people in the Caribbeans, they enslaved the Indians, made them work, till the land, build little towns, and all the other stuff. but they started to notice that they were fading away. So everybody who had a settlement, they were begging Your Highness to import Negroes from Africa to do the work that the Indians were doing because it really wasn't a benefit. Yep, damn near. Okay. So I just wanted to put that out there. So this is how we're going to start today's show. Okay. This is how we are turning up for today. Let's go to article number 2. Now, I showed you this article before. I mean, this image that you see on the screen, I just showed it to you. A variation of one of the images. Yep, this right here, I showed it to you. Y'all see it? Let me zoom in. I just showed y'all this. Look. African slaves, Por Ora de Mayans, regarded by the Spanish soldiers, Caribbean engraving by who? Thomas de Bry. Yep, 1565. I just showed y'all this. But I wanted to be a little bit more specific. You understand me? I want to let y'all know what's really going on out here in these streets. Right? Now, someone would say that that photo that we showed earlier is written in English. So this is why I went to show y'all this one, which is not English. It's written in a whole nother language. Just so you know, it had to be translated, right? And because we know it needed to be translated, it provided us great clarity on what we're dealing with. Yep, this. So let's continue. Yeah, 93. This is quoting directly from the primary. All right. Enslaved Africans in Mexico, the 1537 rebellion plot. I had to hit that good Arctic Blitz. So, on the 24th of September, I was advised that the blacks had chosen a king and had reached an agreement to kill all Spaniards and seize the land, and that the Indians were also involved. One more time, because I know that kind of caught y'all off guard. On September 24th, I was advised that the blacks had chosen a king and had reached an agreement to kill all Spaniards and seize the land, and that the Indians were also involved. So we have 3 different people being identified in the very first sentence of this particular article. I'm going to go back again. This is enslaved Africans in Mexico. We know where Mexico is today. This is 1537. This is a report of Antonio de Mendoza, the viceroy of New Spain, to King Charles I of Spain. And these are the excerpts. When I said we're going primary, we're going primary. On the 24th of September, I was advised that the blacks had chosen a king and had reached an agreement to kill all Spaniards and seize the land, and that the Indians were also involved, since the news was brought to me by one of the blacks. Yeah, a black snitch to yeah, you got it. Since the news was brought to me by one of the blacks, I did not give it much importance. Nevertheless, I did attempt to find out secretly what truth there was in the rumor. And at the same time, I ordered some members of my own household to go among the Indians and if such were found, to inform me at once. For I had been warned, and although I had not really believed in the existence of danger, I did not want to be unprepared for the possibility that the rumors might be true and the blacks might overwhelm us. As a result of my efforts, I did uncover a few clues, and I immediately ordered the arrest of many of the principal plotters as could be apprehended. I also sent word to the minds of the towns where there are Spaniards living so that they would be forewarned and keep a close watch on the blacks in those places, and this they did. The blacks who were arrested confessed that it was true, that they had plotted to seize the country. Groups of sentries were formed and stationed in the city in the mines of Amapatoca, where I sent 24 of them, together with 4 black men and 1 black woman. Francisco Vasquez de Coronado. The Indians killed these blacks, since I had ordered that they would be arrested or killed. With this, the matter was brought to an end. We have tried to find out all that we could about the complicity of the natives in this, but as of the moment have been unable to establish any more than the fact that they were unaware of the plot, although the blacks originated it. It would have been unfortunate for us if they had persisted, in it. There is no doubt that among the things which gave the blacks the courage to plot this revolt were, first of all, the wars of the preoccupations which beset your majesty. The news from the abroad and sent to him more detailed than is necessary and reaches the ears of the blacks and the Indians is in its entirety, with nothing hidden from them. Secondly, under present conditions, ships take such a long time to reach us that one friar was said to have spread the rumor that no ships would be coming from Spain for 10 years. He said that this remark was falsely attributed to him, but I am not surprised by what the blacks have attempted to, because the Spaniards do betray anxiety about the arrival of ships in spite of the fact that tranquility has now been restored. Your Majesty should send ships regularly so that the news from abroad reaches us regularly. If this were done, it would contribute greatly to the general contentment and the country would be more peaceful. In view of all of this, and in the belief that if there were fewer blacks in this land, such plots would not be lightly undertaken. I write to you, Your Majesty, to suspend the sending of the blacks. I had requested for the time being, because if there were large numbers of them here, and another such plot occurred, we might be unable to control the situation and the land might be lost. Since this revolt of the blacks, I have attempted to make the populace more alert to the dangers and also determine what arms and horses each resident has. We can count on 450 men with horses and an equal number on foot, but well armed, and a few others. Yeah, so this is a continuum, right, of where we started earlier. We now know, ladies and gentlemen, if you were unfamiliar, that there were Africans in Mexico in 1537 that were plotting to take over the country. One black revealed it to said person, Spaniard. Said person didn't really believe it, but didn't want to be shocked or caught off guard and unprepared. Then that's how the whole ploy was effed up, because one person opened their mouth. This isn't the only instance where situations like this occurred. There's many other instances where we shoot our own selves in the foot. But we talking primary. You understand me? So, I wanted to bring those out because they needed to come out. I'm not going to go into some slave quarter data, but I did provide the data, all my sources in the description of this video. I may get back to some things, but right now I want to go to another article. Oh, I'm gonna have to stop sharing my screen real quick, and then I'm gonna reshare, and I'm gonna play the audio from this article real quick, and then I might come back to a source. So y'all can see it. Tracing the enslaved to modern descendants, a new technique for connecting ancient DNA to living relatives, may have implications for institutions with legacy of slavery. This should be something that all of y'all should already be familiar with because we've shared it before. But we're going to listen to this article.
You're listening to an audio recording from Harvard Magazine. This is a synthetically generated AI narration. There may be some inconsistencies in pronunciation, sentiment, and tone.
Tracing the Enslaved to Modern Descendants. A genetic analysis of African Americans who labored at a Revolutionary War-era forge for the first time connects ancient DNA to living people who have shared their data in a genealogical database. Researchers use techniques originally developed for analyzing DNA that is tens of thousands of years old to develop genetic profiles of 27 individuals who had been buried in the late 18th and early 19th century at Catoctin Furnace in Maryland, and then link them to more than 41,799 living relatives in the United States, customers of Personal Ancestry and health firm 23andMe who had agreed to share their genetic information. At a time of rising national interest in the legacy of American slavery, including Harvard's own examination of its past, the research may spark new conversations about these emotional and increasingly politicized subjects. Recovering African American individuals' direct genetic connections to ancestors heretofore buried in the slave past is a giant leap forward both scientifically and genealogically, opening new possibilities for those passionate about the search for their own family roots, said Fletcher University professor Henry Louis Skip Gates Jr. in a statement released by Harvard Medical School, HMS. Gates, who is director of Harvard's Hutchins Center for African and African American Research and a co-author of the paper, is the host of the popular genealogy and genetics television show Finding Your Roots. When comparing the retrieved DNA to that in the contemporary anonymized database, the researchers found that the highest concentration of close relatives is in Maryland, suggesting that descendants of the Catoctin individuals remain in the area. More than 271 enslaved people labored at Catoctin Furnace, which supplied munitions to George Washington's Continental Army during the Revolutionary War. In 1780, for example, the forge delivered 31 tons of 10-inch bombshells, many of which were used in the siege of Yorktown a year later. To produce iron, the enslaved and an unknown number of free African Americans mined ore, cut wood, and labored as colliers, who transformed the wood into charcoal to fuel the furnace, teamsters, who hauled charcoal and ore, and fillers, who dumped charcoal, ore, and limestone, used as flux, into the tunnel that led into the blast furnace. Others may have worked at domestic and agricultural tasks in the furnace owners' households and plantations. Tracing African American family lineages to ancestors who died before the 1870 census, in which all Black people were listed by name for the first time, is notoriously difficult. At Catoctin Furnace in 1979, planning for a state roadway had unearthed skeletal remains at what was identified as an African American cemetery that had been in use at the forge prior to 1850. Archaeologists documented the site, and the state of Maryland turned the bones over to the Smithsonian Institution. More recently, the Catoctin Furnace Historical Society, in partnership with the African American Resources Cultural and Heritage Society of Frederick County, Maryland, has been trying to learn more about the enslaved and free African Americans who worked at the forge from about 1776 until the mid-1800s. Through genealogical research, they successfully identified 2 living families with links to African American workers. To learn more, they turned to genetic analysis, which has now revealed family relationships among the burials at the Catoctin African American Cemetery, the geographic origins of their ancestors, and the presence of a large community of relatives in the United States. This study, said co-author Elizabeth Kummer of the Historical Society in the statement provided by HMS, represents a step toward meeting our ultimate goal of identifying a Catoctin descendant community using DNA and other tools. The research was led by Aideen Harney, a Harvard lecturer on human evolutionary biology and population geneticist at 23andMe, whose doctoral work was overseen jointly by Professor of Organismic and Evolutionary Biology John Wackley and paper senior author David Reich. Reich, a Howard Hughes Medical Institute investigator and a professor of genetics and of human evolutionary biology, is well known for having developed efficient methods for analyzing ancient human DNA, including that of early humans such as Neanderthals and Denisovan. The other lead authors are Joanna Mountain, formerly Senior Director of Research at 23andMe, and anthropologist Douglas Ousley of the Smithsonian Institution. The genetic comparison used a new method developed by a team led by Harney and Reich to compare segments of DNA that are shared by 2 or more people because they have been inherited by descent, IBD, from a common ancestor. The greater the number of these IBD segments of DNA, the more likely the individuals are to be closely related. Of the 41,799 US-based research participants genetically related to the Catoctin Furnace individuals, 2,975 are thought to be close relatives, meaning their relatedness ranges from 5 degrees of separation, the same amount as a great-great-great-grandchild, to about 9 degrees, or the equivalent of first cousins 6 times removed. The rest appear to be distant relatives who may be connected to Catoctin individuals through shared ancestors who lived in Africa or Europe during or before the transatlantic slave trade. Most of the Catoctin individuals, the genetic analysis found, derive their African ancestry from the Wolof and Mandinka ethnolinguistic groups of West Africa or the Congo of Central Africa, and their European DNA from Great Britain and Ireland. While all but one of the Catoctin group derive the vast majority of their ancestry from Africa, the European signal is most evident on the Y-sex chromosome in male individuals. This chromosome is passed exclusively from men to their male children, and the fact that the European signal is strongest in this part of the genome is evidence of the sexual exploitation of enslaved African American women by their European American owners. The genetic analysis of the burials also revealed that 15 of the Catoctin individuals could be grouped into 5 families, mostly mothers, children, and siblings buried near each other. Several of them carried a gene variant that confers protection against malaria when one copy is present, but causes a debilitating and life-threatening blood disorder called sickle cell anemia if 2 copies are inherited, one from each parent. The disorder is common among African Americans whose ancestors lived in areas where malaria is endemic. Methodologically, Gates said, this work represents a step forward for enabling further study of the biogeographic origins and genetic legacy of historical African American populations, particularly in cases where documentation is limited, as is common. More broadly, the study demonstrates the possibility of connecting historical or ancient DNA from other sources with personal genome databases to better understand human history. The work clearly could have implications for Harvard's, and other institutions, legacy of slavery studies. Reich acknowledged in an email, if the institutions are interested in pursuing such work, read about efforts to trace descendants of people who were once enslaved by Harvard leaders and faculty and staff members. Not all groups embrace such genetic studies, he explained. At a seminar he led last year at Radcliffe to explore the use of ancient DNA to help repatriate the remains of Native Americans to their descendants, most of the participants, he reports, seemed unfavorable to the idea. But the situation might be very different for African American remains, as the African American community is very much interested historically in trying to use genetics to recover lost roots and connect them to present people, as exemplified by Skip Gates's work.
Alright, so that's one article. Hold on. You got a home. Alright, so let's move on real quick. And let's keep the conversation on DNA. But I wanna muddy the water just a no, I don't want to do it yet. I'm gonna come back to it. So this is how the slave trade left its mark in the DNA of people in the Americas. A lot of times when we talking to abos, they run from this conversation, so we want to kind of stick it to them real quick. We're gonna draw them out. We're gonna draw them out. A study of DNA of people in the Americas with African heritage has revealed and overlooked details about the transatlantic slave trade. This gives some clarity and some sense of individual history, says historian Linda Haywood of Boston University in Massachusetts, who wasn't involved in the research. And the Haywood also wrote a book. DNA evidence means African Americans can pinpoint where their ancestors were abducted from and reclaim aspects of their heritage that were hidden by the slave trade, she says. One more time. DNA evidence means African Americans can pinpoint where their ancestors were abducted from and reclaim aspects of the heritage that were hidden by the slave trade, she says. It broadens the way in which identity and personal history can be thought about. An estimated 12.5 million people were taken from Africa to the Americas between the 15 and 1800s, according to historical texts like shipping documents. So you actually can go here and look at what's being referred to, shipping documents, and records of people being sold. To fill out a picture, Stephen Micheletti of consumer genetics firm 23andMe in Sunnyvale, California, and his colleagues looked at DNA of from 50,281 people, including 27,422 from across the Americas, with a minimum of 5% African ancestry, 20,942 Europeans, and 1,917 Africans. This allowed them to identify stretches of DNA that are unique to people from particular regions of Africa. The data came from 23andMe customers along with public genome databases. Studies like this are becoming possible because African people who were previously underrepresented in the genome database are now being asked to take part in research, says Joanna Mountain, also of 23andMe. Nevertheless, gaps remain. I hope we get some data from Mozambique sometime soon. It was involved in the slave trade, but we didn't have enough data to include it in the study, she says. In line with historical records of where slaves were taken from, the African DNA in people in the Americas was most similar to that of people living in West African countries like Senegal, the Democratic Republic of Congo, and Angola. However, most people in the Americas where African ancestry won't have DNA from a single region of Africa. Our results suggest that the average African American would have connections to multiple regions. Why is that? That is partly because slave traders disregarded ethnic identities, mixing people from different groups, and partly because African Americans moved around within the U.S. For instance, during the Great Migration of the 20th century, African Americans moved from the segregated South states to the U.S. northern states. This is something that we've argued with Aboriginals from time immemorial. They're like, you don't know which tribe you come from. They don't know what tribe that they come from if they're supposed to be indigenous or Aboriginal to the Americas. However, we are an amalgamation of different West African countries. And that reason being is what was just explained. They didn't look at ethnicity the way that people look at ethnicity today. They were in the business of selling and mixing up and breaking families and moving people around and, you know, trying to prevent communication, etc. Anyway, because so many people were abducted as slaves, much of the genetic diversity in Africa was carried to the Americas, says Eduardo Tarazano Santos in the Federal University of Minas Gerais at Belo, and this is in Brazil. But within the Americas, this diversity was more homogenized between populations. The analysis points to overlooked details of the slave trade. For instance, the team found less DNA from Senegal, Gambian regions, and other neighboring countries than would be expected, given the huge numbers of people taken from there. This may be because those slaves were often taken to rice plantations in the U.S., where the death rate was high due to malaria, says the team. Go back to what Danny said before and others, where they would get specific people. Now, this is your source if you want to go any further, right? The American Journal of Human Genetics. You can click on it and it gets way more specific. Meanwhile, people in Central and South America and on the Caribbean islands today carry little African DNA, despite the fact that 70% of the slaves who survived the trip to the Americas were sent there. This may reflect a form of racism once practiced in Brazil, says Mount. in which women of African descent were raped or forced to marry Europeans to promote racial whitening. In contrast, in the U.S., African Americans were often segregated from white people by law, and racial intermarriage was illegal or taboo. See, y'all didn't know the difference. South America got a whole nother experience than we have in the Americas. The genetic data also confirms that female slaves have passed on much more of their DNA than male slaves. Even though historical records show the majority of people taken from Africa were male, this is probably because female slaves were subjected to rape and sexual exploitation. So let me come back to this other article now. And I'm going to muddy the water a little bit more. So the name of this article is Genetic Consequences of the Transatlantic Slave Trade in the Americas. I'm only going to give you the abstract, as I know your patience is very thin. According to historical records of transatlantic slavery, traders forcibly deported an estimated 12.5 million people from the ports of along the Atlantic coastline of Africa between 16th and 19th centuries, with global impacts reaching to the present day. More than a century and a half after slavery's abolition, such records have fueled a broad understanding of the forced migration from Africa to the Americas, yet remain underexplored in concert with genetic data. Here, we analyze genotype array data from 50,281 research participants, which combined with the historical shipping documents illustrate that the current genetic landscape of the Americas is largely concordant with expectations derived from the documentation of slave voyages. For instance, genetic connections between people in slave trading regions of Africa and disembarkation regions of the Americas generally mirror the proportion of individuals forcibly moved between those regions. While some discordance can be explained by additional records and deportations within the Americas, other discordance yield insights into variable survival rates and timing of arrival of enslaved people from specific regions of Africa. Furthermore, the great contribution of African women in the gene pool compared to African men in various across the Americas consists with literature documenting regional differences in slavery practices. This investigation of the transatlantic slave trade, which is broadened in scope of the terms of both data sets and analysis, establishes genetic links between individuals in the Americas and populations across Atlantic Africa, yielded a more comprehensive understanding of the African roots of peoples of the Americas. Let me bring you up to speed. So this is tracing enslaved ancestors during the slave trade and understanding slave ship records. An overview of the transatlantic slave trade marked a pivotal moment in world history as it signified the beginning of the mass movement of human beings from their ancestral homes in Africa to the New World. South America, Central America, North America, and the Caribbean islands, key regions involved in the slave trade included the western and central regions of Africa, where European slave traders established significant trading posts, forts to facilitate the capture, purchase, and transportation of enslaved Africans to the Americas. The transatlantic slave trade primarily operated in these areas. 1. West Africa. The region consisted of Senegambia, Sierra Leone, the Windward Coast, Gold Coast, and the Bight of Benin, or the Bight of Biafra. Central Africa. This region consisted of the Gulf of Guinea, Angola, and Congo. East Africa. This is Mozambique, Tanzania, Kenya, and Madagascar. Enslaved Africans from this region were often traded to Arab Swahili traders and transported to the Middle East and Indian Oceans, and to the lesser extent to the Americas. From African personhood to property. From the 16th century to the 19th century, the reality of human beings crammed in the holds of cargo ships became an insidious norm embedded in the fabric of society. Those seeking to make their fortune were routinely found in this trade, dehumanizing Africans as mere commodities, essential for growing the emerging capitalistic economy of the Atlantic world. Enslaved labor became a cornerstone of the Atlantic economic successes, particularly in cultivating cash crops like sugar, tobacco, corn, and rice in high demand across Europe and beyond. The profit reaped from the inhumane trade enriched European merchants and financiers, fueling the wheels of industrialization and the ascent of capitalism. I'm not going to give you all of this as this goes on, but I'm just trying to give you little bits and pieces. In recent years, there has been a surge in interest in utilizing slavery-related records and traces ancestral records and reconnect their family histories. This research offers a powerful counter-narrative to dehumanizing legacy of trade. While survival records like tax records, ship logs, account books provide valuable insights, they are not inherently genealogical friendly, often reducing individuals to mere entries devoid of humanity. Navigating these documents requires careful interpretation and correlations of other evidence, employing techniques such as oral history, DNA analysis, and community collaborations to reconstruct your identities and experience, i.e. the advertisement of motherfuckers being sold from the Gambia. What's more important is that they give you the slave ship Molly and Sally and the captain's names. Here's a slave ship record right here. These are records. Total captives 164. The vessel Oro, Captain James Bennett. Port of origin Gambia. Purchaser James Knight of Liverpool. Enslaver Daniel Blake. Demographic breakdown 3 men. Payment in full £720. We don't have to make up anything. We don't have to play games. These are the records. So records. More information. These are the records. 114 captives, different ship, 114 captives, vessel Africa, William Mason, port of origin, Sierra Leone. We don't have to make up anything. So I want to show a little bit of that so that I can get into a little bit of this. Back to DNA. Y'all quiet in the chat. Let me see, maybe it's my phone. But y'all have seen this article before if you're familiar with me. This is a 2018 article talking about ancient DNA confirms Native American deep roots in North and South America. I've just been talking about Africa all day, and then using genetic links back to Africa and them identifying us separately from the Indians. All of this, I did all of this for y'all, right? Now let me add to that. And what I mean by adding to that, is talk about these Native Americans now. Because the people act like we ain't got their DNA. And people act like these people ain't taking DNA tests. And people acting like those assigned haplogroups aren't actually providing the evidence. Okay. Just show me how you came to that conclusion. Hold on. Before we go any further.
How the fuck y'all find an African in my fucking family, but
He
y'all
died
ain't
by
find
his
y'all?
own genealogy.
Shut the fuck up. That don't make sense, for one. Listen, y'all don't know what y'all did.
Feel like you standing on
And
business.
y'all lied on me, because y'all don't even know if that's me. And if y'all can trace that shit back to it's me, it's only 2 people in YouTube that got my information.
Yeah, he died by his own genealogy. You ain't an Indian, you ain't got a lot of meat. Half of this track, best believe you lose a lot of sleep. Probably because you made it up to us honestly. You ain't a Cherokee, you ain't a Chickasaw, you ain't a Blackfoot, nigga get lost. You just a fool with low comprehension. So I gotta come through with the henchmen. NAC, Sean P, Shy Son, Lucky. Don't forget Jay, got no time to play. Caught an apple slipping with his genealogy. Now he's a con and I ain't talking about a singer. I'm coming for the top apple leader. He ain't a teacher, he's a preacher. He can't keep up, so we leave him. Yeah, he died by his own genealogy. You ain't an Indian, you ain't got a lot of me. Half of the track, best believe you lose a lot of sleep. Probably because you made it up to us possibly. You ain't a Cherokee, you ain't a Chickasaw, you ain't a Blackfoot. Nigga get lost, you just a fool with low comprehension. So I gotta come through with the henchmen. NAC, Sean P, Shy Son, Lucky. Don't forget Jay, got no time to play. Caught an apple slipping off his genealogy. Now he's a con. OTK, TKO. Now he's a con. OTK, you died. TKO genealogy.
For decades, scientists could describe the people of the Americas only in broad strokes, leaving plenty of the mysteries about when and how people spread across the continent. Now, state-of-the-art ancient DNA methods applied to the scores of new samples from around the Americas are filling in the picture. Two independent studies. I want to say that one more time. Two, not one. Two, not one. Two independent studies. What they doing? What are these two independent studies doing? Where they published that in the Cell and Online in Science. Finding ancient populations expanded rapidly across the Americas about 13,000 years ago. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have evidence through these two independent studies. These are not pro or con. They're independent. They ain't taking a side. They're not taking the Abo side. They're not taking the African side. These two independent studies that are published in Cell and Science says this. They emphasize that the story continued into the thousands of years since, revealing previously undocumented large-scale movements between North and South America. Let's go further. The data included 64 newly sequenced ancient DNA samples from Alaska to Patagonia, spanning for more than 10,000 years of genetic history. The numbers of samples are just extraordinary, says one archaeologist. Prior to these studies, only 6 genomes older than 6,000 years from the Americas had been sequenced. So before the data that we had from these independent studies, the only other information we had was 6,000 years from 6 genomes. But here we go with Jennifer Rabb, shout out, an anthropolitical geneticist. What she say? The genetic models that we've been using to explain the people of the Americas have also been oversimplified. S.K. Willersleeve, evolutionary geneticist in Copenhagen, led the science team, worked closely with the Falun Payat Shoshone tribe in Nevada to gain access to some of the new samples. Let me pause real quick. So YK earlier had in his video something about what a girl saying that they're not getting samples of DNA from the people in North America where we from. Well, ma'am, you were unfamiliar with the Shoshone tribe in Nevada who were providing samples. The tribe had been fighting to repatriate 10,700-year-old remains found in Nevada's Spirit Cave. Y'all heard me talk about this before. Now you know why I'm talking about it in a little bit more detail. I'm going to repeat it again. The tribe had been fighting to repatriate remains that were 10,700 years old found in the Spirit Cave and had resisted destructive genetic testing. But when Willesley visited the tribe in person and vowed to do the work only with their permission, the tribe agreed, hoping that the results would bolster their case for repatriation. It did. So Willesley found that the remains from Spirit Cave were mostly closely related to living Native Americans. That strengthened the Shoshone tribe's claim to the bones, which were returned to them in 2016 and reburied. Willesley's study validates that this is our homeland. These are our ancestors. The tribe's cultural coordinator, Rashawn Downs, stated. One more time. The Shoshone tribe said, these are our bones. This is our home. The DNA proved it. Willesley added to the Spirit Cave a data to 14 other new whole genomes from sites scattered from Alaska to Chile and ranging between 10,700 years to 500 years old. His data joined an even bigger trove published in the Cell by a team led by population geneticist David Rich of Harvard Medical School, which you heard earlier, his name. They analyzed DNA of 49 samples from Central South America dating 10,900 years ago to 700 years ago and at more than 1.2 million positions across the genome. All told, the data decisively dispelled suggestions based on the distinctive skull shape of the few ancient remains that early populations had a different ancestry from today's Native Americans. Native Americans truly did originate in the Americas as a genetic and culturally distinctive group. They are absolutely indigenous to this continent. Not you Negroes, not you fill in the blanks. They are absolutely indigenous to the continent. So now y'all gonna go back to try to claim y'all Native Americans. So here's a map. We mentioned this before. Anzac 1 and Anzac 2. 64 ancient individuals, sparse genetic record of the Americas. They show people related to Anzac Child, part of the Clovis culture, quickly spread across North and South America 13,000 years ago. Look at that. What up here? Let me make this bigger. Can y'all see that? Public Enemy. You're tripping in the chat. So the two studies provide an unprecedented view on how ancient Americans moved across the continent about 13,000 years ago. Previous genetic work has suggested that ancestors of Native Americans split Siberia and East Asia 25,000 years ago. Perhaps they entered the now mostly drowned landmass of the Beringer, which bridged the Russian Far East and North America. Some populations stayed isolated in Beringer, and Willesley sequenced one of the new example of such ancient Beringen 9,000-year-old remains from Alaska's Seward Peninsula. Meanwhile, other groups headed south. At some point, those that journeyed south of the ice sheet split into two groups. The southern route and the SNAs and the NNAs. I told y'all this before, or what we want to call ancestral lineage A and B, who went on to populate the continents. By looking at the genetic similarities between the far-flung samples, both papers add detail to some of the puzzlings to the pattern. The 12,700-year-old Anzac child from Montana was associated with the mammoth hunting Clovis culture, known as their distinctive spear points, provided a key reference point. Willis Lee detected Anzac-related ancestry in both the Spirit Cave individual, who was associated with the Western stems tools, traditions likely old Clovis 10,000 years of remains of Lago Santa in Brazil. Rake's team found even closer relationship between Anzac 9,300 to 10,900 year old samples from Chile, Brazil, and Belize. Let me not get to the whole entire article because I want to stay on this point that was just read. 12,700-year-old Anzac child from Montana. Y'all heard me read that. So let's stay right there in Montana. And let's go back to our boy. Article, this man's DNA is oldest in North America. Everybody know Dusty. Everybody know Dusty, right? He was a Native American. He's a Native American man. He's still living. A Native American man in Montana. Has maybe the oldest DNA native to the Americas. After getting his DNA test, Dusty Crawford learned his ancestors were already in the Americas 17,000 years ago, according to the Great Falls Tribune. The company, Cellular Research Institute Genetics, traced Crawford's ancestry back 55 generations with 99% accuracy. A rare feat given from correlated family trees can be. The test also revealed the origins of the Blackfeet ancestors. According to his DNA, Crawford's ancestors are from the Pacific Islands. Then they journeyed to the Southern American coast and traveled north according to preliminary analysis. Moreover, CRI Genetics looked at Crawford's mitochondrial DNA, genetic material that is passed down from mothers. An analysis showed that Crawford is part of the mtDNA haplogroup B2, which originated in Arizona and at about 17,000 years ago, the Great Falls Tribune reported. This group is one of 4 major native groups in North America. The groups trace their lineage back to 4 female ancestors, Ai, Ina, She, and Saki. Crawford appears to be a descendant of Ina. Remember, we've read this story before. Today, this Native American line is found only in the Americas with a strong frequency peak on the eastern coast of Northern America, CRI Genetics reports. So, the lady in YK the Truth's video said that they do not test the DNA of people in North America. This is an example. Another example of them testing DNA of people in North America and finding out that these people come from 2 ancestral lineages that trace their ass back to Southeast Asia. So, what's the point in all of this? Through genetics. Because that's basically what we're having. We're having an argument with people about their identity. And when you're having an argument with people about their identity, then you have to look up their genetic makeup. And when you do that, you run into some issues that don't prove that they're who they say they are. I just dropped a link in the chat. I don't need to argue this anymore. What I wanted to talk about, we did prove that the sister's wrong. YK did it already in his video, but I wanted to double down and back him up with that evidence at the end of that to show you that they have and are obtaining DNA samples from people who are indigenous, truly indigenous to this land, ain't playing pretending, ain't dressing up like one. Hit that link. that link. Hit that link. I know the airball is lurking. I know y'all scared, bro. Incompatible of a genocide. Bacon milkshake. Who drinking bacon milkshakes? That's nasty. Who won't smoke? Cause AP A1. I don't know. AP don't and A1 don't. Let me show y'all something real quick. Of course, they be live all the time, running off of their little dick suckers. As soon as you challenge them, they ain't got nothing to say. Look, fire, floods, and fraud. The greatest reset of the 1800s. This is how stupid. This is where your timeline starts. Stupid. Just listen. Grab you something to drink. I'm finna show y'all something. Grab you something to drink. Get ready for the foolishness. It's gonna be a video too.
All starts from Jesus Christ, the slave trade, all this shit.
I'm gonna go back a little bit so y'all can hear him. Go back a little bit so y'all can hear him.
Hey man, shout out to everybody that's in the building, man. We're about to get into some shit today. We got some shit to get into. We got a little bit to get into. So we're gonna rock it out as much as we can today. So I just need you guys to hit that like button, thumb up the video, support the channel. All right. So we're gonna support the channel. We on the road today. This is gonna be an enjoyable one. So let's get right into it. Hit that like button and thumb up the video. Let's go. Let's get it.
Most of these incredible buildings were supposedly built in the 1800s. People didn't know how to do anything for hundreds and thousands of years until our amazing society showed up. Is that true? Or are we getting an ego boost to distract us from the truth? History tells us that we are the greatest, and we are.
Now let's think about it. This is in the 1800s. If you think about it, there was no mega buildings and structures being built prior like that to the 1800s. So the 1800s is what we're called the industrial age. And so at the beginning, which is in the early 1800s, at the beginning of the industrial age, these people who's never built elaborate structures starts to build structures that is such elaborate and design like you see right here on this image today. Look at these buildings. These are some of their first style buildings. So they never built buildings before. They're just now trying it out, and they build the most prestige.
What the fuck was wrong? If these people never built anything before, what the hell was wrong? All of them monuments, all of that are historical shit that these Europeans romance over. What was that? You gotta help me out.
Each form of building. As a matter of fact, we start to see a decline in craftsmanship based off of the structures. You don't see a incline, elevation of technology. You see a decrease of technology, and we're going to be showing you how these old world civilization structures are next to new world civilization structures. And then the 1800 is when they started this whole reset. So if y'all ready for this, drop a fire emoji, support the channel, and let's go.
Right? Well, that building is amazing, but we're still the best. Okay, that building is even better. What is that? Wait, they had wireless energy? What is going on? Fine, I'll admit it. The mainstream narrative is lying. What a great way to get people to believe the narrative. Tell them that they're the best. Who is going to question that? I guess some like us will, but the majority won't for now. We look around and most of these incredible ancient buildings were taken over by banks or the USA.
Most of them was taken over by the bank and the church. You got to realize that the church was running things in the early 1700s. They even ran the judicial system, which is how the Rockefellers started incorporating the taxation in the federal banking system, which ultimately had enough economics to take over the old world technology. No, we're not talking about Torturian. We're talking about Atlantean.
See, listen, I had to stop him real quick before he gave it up. Where's his evidence? He's just making claim after claim after claim. He said these people never built shit before. These Europeans was building shit before. What he think? All right, let's get into it.
Most of them was taken over by the bank and the church. You got to realize that the church was running things in the early 1700s. They even ran the judicial system, which is how the Rockefellers.
What they got to do with the 1800s? Because you basically just jumped 200 years. You went back 200 years and then you jumped up 200 years. And you ain't tied none of this to anything except for the fact that you're trying to blame some Christians for some shit.
Rockefellers started incorporating the taxation in the federal banking system, which ultimately had enough economics to take over the old world technology. No, we're not talking about
what? So it's the Rockefellers' fault because they generated enough revenue to take over the old world. Bro, I guess you forgot that we had whole issues with Russia. And Russia was a world power at one point. In our lifetime. You remember when we were kids and we saw the Berlin Wall fall? You remember that? When Russia was dominating the Olympics and so on and so forth? You forgot about that? So you just be saying anything, bro. Your chronology is flawed. Your methodology is flawed. And you selling us wolf tickets. But you finna tell us some Atlantean shit. So go ahead and tell us.
Torturian. We're talking about Atlantean technology. They misclassify Torturian as Torturian when really it's just mobile or a broad Atlantean culture. And I'm gonna prove to you guys that this is Atlantean culture. As a matter of fact, if you look at this image right here that you see, and then you guys can do this right now in real time without even me showing you. You can stop what you're doing, go and type into your Google images of Atlanta and see if you see this building that you see right here to the right in the image. So they've always been depicting Atlantis as some vaguely old town city that's in America. So we're going to go in today. Hit that like button of the video.
The USA and banks were both created. And what
did you just tell us to go Google Atlanta? Listen to this fool. Go Google Atlanta.
Of Atlanta and see if you see this building that you see right here to the right. Had enough economics to take over the old world technology. No, we're not talking about Torturian. We're talking about Atlantean technology. They misclassify Torturian as Torturian when really it's just mobile or a broad Atlantean culture. And I'm gonna prove to you guys that this is Atlantean culture. As a matter of fact, if you look at this image right here that you see, and then you guys can do this right now in real time without even me showing you. You can stop what you're doing, go and type into your Google images of Atlanta and see if you see this building that you see right here to the right in the image. So they've always been depicting Atlantis as some vaguely old town city that's in America. So we're going to go in today. Hit that like button of the video.
The USA and Banks were both created, and what do you know? Right after that, we get all these brand new inventions. If we had these buildings in the 1800s, there's no doubt they had technology that is also hidden from our history. Other types of technology other than just building.
Right. What if I told y'all that the Tesla Cybertruck that you guys see today was an old model that comes from an old electric truck from the 1800s? Same style, same everything.
Created, and what do you know? Right after that, we get all these brand new inventions. If we had these buildings in the 1800s, there's no doubt they had technology that is also hidden from our history. Other types of technology other than just building.
Right. What if I told y'all that the Tesla Cybertruck that you guys see today was an old model that comes from an old electric truck from the 1800s? Same style, same everything. Let me show y'all this what I'm talking about.
Yeah, show me. I'm here to learn.
Let me show y'all this.
Teach me how you came to this conclusion.
Let me show y'all this image. Damn, let me see if I can pull it up. I just seen that. I just was happening to look at some old images of electric cars in the 1800s, and I happened to see something that looked just like a damn Tesla truck in the 1800s. I said, what the? Oh, no, they didn't stole this nigga design, but now I'll find it in a second. But look at this. Why do you see these type of structures at the top of these old buildings? Now, mind you, these are some of the older buildings. These are the first style structures in the industrial age in the early 1800s. They didn't even have electricity then. What is this that they got right here? This is a good question.
If we had these,
I thought you was gonna show us the Tesla truck. You couldn't find it? You couldn't find it? You said they didn't have electricity in the 1800s, right? Hold on. Hold on, y'all. I gotta pull this shit up for y'all, man. This shit crazy. That might say anything. So do we need to pull up Benjamin Franklin? What y'all think? What y'all think? We examined the bright sparks who had a major hand in the discovery. Who invented electricity? Well, spoiled the big twist now. It wasn't invented. but discovered by humans. The energy form was always there. It just needed someone to find the spark. Essentially, electricity is a form of energy resulting from the presence and movement of electric charges, the flow of the electrons. This energy, of course, powers just about everything you own, from your TV, toothbrush, light bulbs, and even fastest planes in the world. But who actually discovered electricity? The answer is much more interesting than you think. American polymath Benjamin Franklin is most credited for discovering electricity in 1752. That defeats the 1800s. In an experiment, he attached a wire to a kite under a thunderstorm, which showed that the lightning consisted of electricity. However, despite this similar experiment, no one person can be credited with discovering electricity. Instead, several individuals made contributions to the study of electricity over centuries. These include Thales of Miletus, who was a Greek, William Gilbert, in his book De Magnete. English scientist William Gilbert coined the term electricus in the 1600s, y'all. See, this is why you got to be careful when you listening to stupid motherfuckers like A.P. 1600s? Man. And it gets even better. Otto von Guericke, Stephen Gray. What did Stephen Gray do? He discovered the difference between electrical insulators and conductors, finding that electricity would flow along wires. Ewald George. He's saying they had no electricity until the 1800s when they started building these buildings, but people had already discovered electricity and much more. Look, in 1745, two scientists invented the Leyden jar. This was a key invention in the buildup of our understanding of electricity. The Leyden jar was a glass jar of a vial coil coated on the inside and outside with metal foil. This device was able to store electricity. That's what it looked like. Benjamin Franklin. Alessandro Volta. I ain't got to keep going on. You got Thomas Edison and all them other motherfuckers. So apparently we know that he don't know what the hell he talking about. But I'm going to pause real quick right there. Because we got a pseudo that's in the backstage. Talking to herself. He a little drunk, so, you know what I'm saying, you got to bear with him. He running his mouth. You know what I'm saying? And I guess he done forgot. But he in the living room lying to all of these people. Look at him. Bro, get the baby off the screen. Get the baby off the screen, bro. Look at this dude. Look at him. Now, Keenan, he did not pull up the truck. And I don't know why he joined the panel. Look at that. Look at his ass, lying his ass off. What you want, man? You know what you want.
Hey man, what's up? Hey man, unblock me, man.
What you talking about?
You got me, man. I can't make no comments. I can't even chop it up, man. I know we got our little differences.
Now, hold on. What you mean you blocked? I mean, I'm blocked, but I can't make no comments or nothing, man. I fuck with you, Sean P. I fuck with you because I see
Hold on, Vino.
that you really about your education.
I ain't know you was blocked.
You know what I'm saying? I see that you really about your education, and I fuck with the education shit, man. I
Vino.
fuck with you, Sean P.
Vino, you drunk?
Man, I'm fucked up right now. But you know, a nigga gonna keep it real with you, though. You know what I'm saying? Because I tap in with the real niggas. You know what I'm saying? You a real nigga, Sean P. But I know that nigga that's out here trying to get this shit right. You know what I'm saying? I know nigga that's trying to get, you know, with my niggas over there in the Abo family and even with y'all niggas, man, you know, yeah, niggas be debating real facts. But shit, at the end of the day, niggas is trying to get to the real answers, and we real niggas.
You know,
I know you a real nigga, Sean P, because you get down like a real nigga. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? When I respect you like that, and I understand your fight, and I understand you trying to say that, yeah, man, if it say African descent and the history that we got from the people, this is what it say, so we got to add everything up. But with all the information, man, that we've been getting here lately, man, in the 2000s and all the things been going forward, man, it's like that shit ain't adding up, Sean P. That shit ain't adding up, man. I'm thinking this really was some niggas over here.
One of them niggas over here.
Man, come on, Sean P, man. You know, this the third world. You know, when I look at this, like this the third world. The first world is Africa. You got Africa and Europe. You got different, you got white and black through the top and the bottom. You got Asia and Australia. You got white and black through the top and bottom. And then you got America. And y'all niggas just trying to tell me, man, I won't never believe that shit. And even though with all the shit that you know what I'm saying, that you bring to the table, I never would believe that it wasn't no niggas over here like it was niggas in Australia.
Them people in Australia ain't niggas.
Them niggas is, come on, man, stop. Man, nigga, I was looking at the Olympics, man. We gotta look at the, man. Okay, man, I know it's been some time since 2000, since the 1400s, what, 500 plus years or whatever. So whatever. Okay, so Peter Saldo. But I'm still looking at the people in the Olympics. I'm looking at the Fiji. I'm looking at all these different people, and these niggas look like some real niggas. You know what I'm saying? These niggas look like a real nigga. So I'm like, damn. And then on top of that, I didn't even know that these niggas put the motherfucking Asians was in Mexico like that. The motherfucking Chicos, whatever they was called. I'm like, damn, it's just more information that's coming out, Sean P. So it's like, okay, how could we say just 100% that, okay, yeah, just because this one cracker said this is 100. But then we got these other crackers that they kind of disgraded, but they kind of treat them like Kyrie Irving in the year of 2024. You know what I'm saying? You know how this shit kind of work. Like they trying to like push certain motherfuckers to the side that ain't credible, but you know that they real niggas. But because they push certain motherfuckers to the side, they make them like, I'm not credible. So it's like a dilemma. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's kind of been going on through the years. You know what I'm saying? And we kind of need to kind of decipher what's kind of going on, man. I think it was niggas over here. How can you not think that it was niggas over here?
It wasn't.
And I done showed you all the little small facts. Them was little small facts.
You ain't showed me.
This is going from the Balboa. This is going from the Christopher Columbus. This is going from the little picture that I brought up in South Carolina. Bruh. Like, how can we think that there wasn't no black people over here?
You right there.
And I'm bringing you certain little shit like that.
You ain't bringing me shit.
Come on, Sean P. I'm keeping it real with you.
Keeping it real fake.
So you saying that the documentation that I did bring was fake? You ain't no, you didn't read the documentations that you thought you brought, because had you read it in its full context, you would understand that when you tried to use these white boys, you know the same shit that you were saying to us, y'all be using the white boys. Them white boys that you
Believe the crackers. I don't fuck with crackers. I don't fuck with these niggas, but I know, but I gotta understand that they be slipping in the game.
who is
They be slipping.
Who is Vera Cruz? Is he
Vera Cruz is a cracker, but he also was slipping in the game.
Oh, so why is you using them? You just said you don't be
because he giving some type of historical evidence. He giving some type of okay. Hold on. If Nasir, hold on. If Nasir, if not a coincidence, is going to that one site to be able to say, okay, if he going to that one site in the Dominican Republicans, if he can go to that one site and say, okay, well, there was people here, we got documentations back in 1501, then I should be able to go back too, right?
Vino, why you using the white people and then you sit here and try to talk shit and say y'all listening to the white man and all your sources is from white people?
Because I'm dissecting the white people shit. I just ain't going clearly off of them. I'm dissecting they shit. I just ain't just saying what they saying is 100% for sure. I'm going off what they saying and then I'm comparing it with other motherfuckers.
Now you said the white people that you brought, you said that these white people say they saw black people. And then when we pull up this shit, they talking about they seen black people in 1574 when black people was getting their ass brought over here. So you
then on top of the
hold on.
Okay. I'm listening.
You're not reading the entirety of the source to get.
I read the whole book, Sean P.
No, you don't.
I read the whole book before I present it, Sean P. I'm not coming, Sean P. Man, I'm just not. Just like how y'all trying to present it, I'm coming to like, okay, but I just trying to just look up certain things. I read the whole book before I present it to y'all.
I wasn't done. You ain't read. My bad. You ain't read no whole book since you've been locked up.
I read the whole book before I bring it to you, Sean P.
No, you ain't. Now you capping.
I read the whole book before I bring it to you, Sean P. I promise you.
Put that on your kids.
I read the whole book. Man, I'm 100%. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you, man. I bring
it on your kids. Put it on your kids. Put it on your kids.
My kids, man, I read the whole book, man. I read the whole book so I can understand before, man, I even speak on some shit.
Yo, Vino, you a trifling motherfucker, bro. You allow your kid?
Except my nigga Cali. You allow your kid. My nigga Cali, man.
This nigga Vino allow kids.
My nigga, I'm a real nigga, man. I'm not gonna come on here and give y'all my family information and tell y'all all this type of shit just for some YouTube shit, my nigga.
You lying?
Hold on, man. I don't even make videos like that. You know what I'm saying? Man, I'm officially start making some videos for the simple fact that y'all keep on putting my family and stuff out there and saying that they African descent. But y'all gotta come with them documentations and saying that y'all gotta come with them slave records. Like I'm going back into the 1600s and I'm finding slave records. And I'm going back into the 1700s. And I'm finding slave records. And
they saying they
y'all gotta come there with that.
Any record that you find from the 15, 16 to 17, you ain't find the shit from the 15. You find something from the 17 to 18. I'm
finding the little deeds or whatever from the 1600s in Virginia, and I also found some deeds from the motherfuckers that first started the counties in Georgia. See, that's where I was seeing the Abraham and the Cudjos. I was seeing Dindies. These is the people. These is my people that's down here in Oklahoma. Dindies, but Dindies, the motherfucking Barkis, motherfucking. I'm okay. So I'm like, damn. Okay, I'm seeing these niggas, but then on top of that, I'm saying that nigga that's already in Florida.
Mm-mm.
So then with these other niggas start coming with these other documents, it's like, okay, niggas is coming out with more documents that kind of validate that niggas was already over here.
Wrong. You need primary.
When I can bring you the artists from the 1700s that were talking about Negritos that was in America.
No, them people is not you. Go get a DNA test.
Negritos that's in America, how them niggas not me? And my people come from Florida.
Go take a DNA test.
The DNA test is not gonna prove that niggas were slaves, my nigga. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
The DNA test ain't got nothing to do with. Listen, bro. The DNA test is about your biological makeup. It ain't about your stories. It's about genetically who you are. You can't get around it. I don't care what you talking about. You can say whatever.
I'm trying to tell you, but
no.
I understand what you're talking about. I understand what you're talking about the DNA, but I'm saying that could be a possibility that the DNA, that could be a possibility.
Ain't no possibility.
There could be a possibility that the Africans was already over here. Just like the niggas already said. Just like I brought in the documentation that said that the niggas was saying that the niggas came from that the black man come from the South with the gold javelins. That was back in 1498.
Ain't no gold in the South, bro. That wasn't
my nigga. You seen the shit that I brought? The nigga that said on the motherfucking Life in Columbia shit. The nigga said that the nigga said that the black man come from the South with the gold javelins. You seen that? You read it?
No, that's not gold.
Man, let me go get me another drink, man. Y'all niggas, you stop this.
You see the screen?
Stop that, Sean P, man. You a real nigga, man.
You see the screen?
Real shit is real, man. You gotta give a nigga real points, man.
Do you see the screen?
Okay, hold on. Okay. The screen says the history and legacy of Eastonville, Florida, pioneering. So what you going down to Florida for?
You don't want me in Florida? I'm finna show you where the black people are in Florida.
I'm saying Florida been getting enslaved since Ponce.
I'm gonna show you one more time. I can tell you
the document saying that the niggas been running up in Florida before Ponce.
Every black person
in Florida. Documents that the niggas been running up in Florida before Ponce.
Every black person in Florida is of African descent.
No, come on. Sean P, how can you say that when them niggas is already saying that niggas? How can you say that when niggas already got a river called Black Warrior River in Alabama? How can you say that? And then when I'm looking at the motherfucking stories, with them, okay, I'm listening.
Ain't we talking about Florida?
We talking about Florida, and when I go to the document, they saying that it was brown Indians.
So why you talking about Alabama? Why you talking about Alabama? No, you can't. No. We talking about Florida. Why the hell
is talking about Florida?
Yeah.
But the reason that I pull that up like that is because when you go to the articles, when you go to the articles of that one nigga, man, I don't know his name exactly, but he's a Spaniard.
Look at the screen. Look at the screen.
Okay, let's look at the screen. For Moses.
Who?
That's late in the game. That's 1783. We got to go back to the 60s. You got to go back earlier, Sean P.
Bro, I'm gonna get you.
17s.
I'm gonna get you everywhere you need to go.
That's the 7. That's not early enough, Sean P.
No,
that's 1783. That was after the mother. That's after the United States. You got to stop that. Yeah.
Was the Trail of Tears in 1783?
No, the Trail of Tears was in the 1800s, but I'm talking about.
Oh, this is hold on. Slow down.
South Carolina. When did South Carolina form?
God damn, bro.
When the Carolinas formed in 1670?
You know what I'm trying to get you to see is that I can walk your motherfucking ass right back from this point to South Carolina. And then when we get to South Carolina, we gonna show you of African descent. There's no way that you can get around this, and is the point that I'm talking about how the motherfuckers even get to Florida. Because before the Trail of Tears, your ass claiming to be in Florida. You was claiming this fort.
Sean P, walk me back from 1793 to 1670. Walk me back. Give me a good dialogue and a good
Nigga, you was in South Carolina as a
hold on. You good for giving a good documentation and giving a good shit. Give me a good thing from 1793 to 1670. What was going on with the black people at that time in America?
They was enslaved, picking cotton, doing rice.
But these was black Indians. I showed you a picture of the Uchis. I showed you a picture of the Uchis in 1753. That was 1753. That was 1753. What you think what his mommy and daddy look like?
The blacks were blacks. The whites were whites.
But I'm saying we got Indians that's black like the Uchis that I showed you.
No.
Yes, I show you the picture, Sean P. Don't act like I didn't show you that picture.
No. The Indians were Indians. The blacks.
The Indians was black like the... Okay, I'm listening.
The Indians were Indians. The blacks.
What's the color, Sean P?
The blacks. No.
What's their color range?
Listen. The Indians were Indians.
What's the color range, Sean P?
Will you be quiet and just listen?
Okay.
The Indians were Indians. The blacks were blacks. The whites were white.
We can't do that, Sean P. We got to stop right there because you're not being real. Because you know I brought the shit from South Carolina where they was making a difference when they was trying to make a difference of the Africans and the Indians when they was just going off color. They just said color. It wasn't. They just said off the look and color. They wasn't going off serious documentation. They just said look and color.
Vino, what does this say right here? What does it say right here on the screen?
What are we looking at right here? Okay. On the 24th of September, one was advised that the blacks. Hold on. First off, what we looking at? By the Spaniard soldiers. Hold on. What we reading?
Hold on. This is from 1537, nigga.
What is this?
Beyond your.
Okay, let me read. Okay, let me read. Enslaved Africans in Mexico, 1573. 1573 rebellion plot report of Antonio de Mendoza, vice of New Spain, Spain, Charles I, Spain. Okay, on 24th of September 1st was advised that the blacks had chosen the time out.
No.
Hold on.
Read it.
Hold on. Let's keep it 100. The blacks. What do that mean by the blacks?
I think you finna fuck up.
Okay, what do you mean by the blacks? Is them as Africans or is they in America?
No, read the source.
Okay. On the 24th of September, I advised that the blacks had chosen a king and had reached an agreement to kill all Spaniards and seize the land. And that the Indians, who were also involved, so we got blacks and Indians involved with the same thing. Okay.
There's two different. There's a distinction.
I just looked at the same thing and it said that the Indians was involved and the blacks was involved. Okay. Come on. Since the news, hold on. Who all staying? Is Hero on them staying? Monte staying. Monte, is Christian them coming? Yeah. They ready? Yeah, we all coming. Hold on. Let me get my charger and everything. Hold on, Sean P. Hold on real quick. We having this little family reunion and shit. Hold on.
Yeah. You having family reunion. But the reunion ain't family. All them people in there, I ain't see not one motherfucker that was Native American. Not a one. See, he already in the box.
Okay. And you get it. Have to come back. Gonna get bottled up. Are we good? I'm saying I'm gonna take this to the house.
I know, but it ain't yours. Why you just take that?
I'm saying it's all good though, baby. Damn, I'm gonna take to that stuff still. Come on, let's go.
I had to mute him. He's stealing liquor from his own family. Nigga trifling like a motherfucker. Stealing his people liquor. She trying to use that for her and her nigga. And you stealing. You on mute.
Hey, my nigga, I fuck with you, Sean P. Nigga, don't do me like that, my nigga. Ain't nobody stealing no liquor, nigga. Stop it, nigga.
Stealing liquor from his sister.
Hey, man, I'm finna dip to the house real quick, man. Go and do your teaching, whatever you gonna do real quick.
No. So I need you to admit that this
Hold on, man. I'm finna hop on the highway real quick. It's gonna take me about 10, 15 minutes to get to the crib. I need for you to get, hold on, Sean P, because you a good teacher. Sean P, you a good teacher. I need for you to get online. I need for you to teach my youngest. I got some youngest robbing me. Sean P, I fuck with you. I need for you to teach some shit for about 10 minutes until I get off the highway and then I get to the house. What? We good? We good? And if you gonna teach them my niggas, you know what I'm saying?
Hey man, you ain't listening, bro. You just read that there was blacks.
Hold on, Sean P. Hold on, Sean P. Hold on.
Y'all see you
I got
ducking
my
this.
young niggas over here with me, you know what I'm saying? I need for you to teach some my niggas, cause you a real nigga. We finna lock in. We on the way to the crib. I need for you to lock in and gonna get my young niggas some game. We've already been listening to you. It's gonna keep listening. Just gonna keep leaking that game. You be gone, you know what I'm saying? That you be dropping. And we finna gonna get to it. Hold on.
This boy is not listening. This man just sit here and read this paragraph where it says blacks, and then it went to Indians, and then he got discombobulated, and now he all over the place. He all over the place because he ain't got no justification for that. He don't understand how he come to that. You read it, bro. It immediately in the 1530s, man. What was the source? 15 what? 37. A 1537 source separates the Indians and the blacks and the whites. And then V don't gonna sit here and act like he ain't hear that. And he read it. And he read it. So he got to do better. If he knew better, he'd do better.
Man, stop it, man. Stop it. Hold on, man. Okay, it's still in fact. That's why I gotta do 3 things at once with you. Okay.
Read it, V-Note. You breaking up, V-Note.
Hey, man, all I'm saying is that, man,
cricket phone
the evidence that we've been. Can you hear me?
No. You don't know how to weigh evidence. Read the screen, V-Note.
What you mean? I don't know how to weigh the evidence.
Read the screen, V-Note.
Okay. If I don't know how to weigh the evidence, so what you saying that the evidence that I'm bringing So
You
you're
don't know.
false, right? So what you're
No.
saying is that the
Why
Chris. Okay, do you believe in the Christopher? Okay, do you believe in Christopher Columbus?
Not, do I believe in Christopher? Why I gotta believe in Christopher Columbus?
Do you believe in the Columbus? Do you believe in the Christopher Columbus story?
Why is it a story, and why I gotta believe in it?
I'm just asking you a question. Do you believe in it? Because we're gonna start right there with it. Because you're saying what I'm bringing ain't
No,
official.
bro. No, bro. You're not. You trying to wiggle up out of.
I'm not trying to wiggle. I'm coming. No, I'm not
Read
trying to wiggle. I'm not
the
playing with you.
screen.
I'm
Read
coming
the.
face.
Okay,
Huh?
read the screen. Read the screen.
Read the screen. Okay, what screen? Hold on, man. I can't. Hold on.
You just read it.
Man, I'm on the highway right now. I can't really do what I need to do. Hold on, man.
Yeah,
It's
you
gonna
need
be a
to be
little bit until I
quiet.
get to the crib. It's gonna
You
be
need
a
to
little
be.
second till I get to the crib, real quick. It's gonna be about 10, 15 minutes till I get to the
You're
crib.
gonna have to
I
be
read
quiet.
every day. You want me to read? We're gonna go and break it down. But I'm just saying, though.
You gotta be quiet and listen. Then
Okay, let's listen.
the source already comes from 1537,
Okay,
and it immediately.
1537. Who is the source?
I'm gonna give it to you one more time. You just read. It's from the Viceroy of New Spain, Antonio de Mendoza, 1537.
Who is Antonio Mendoza?
He's a Spanish. He's a Spaniard. He's telling
He's a
you.
Spaniard. Who is he connected to?
To your
Who is he
Majesty,
connected to?
to the Queen.
Okay, he's the Queen nephew.
He connected to the Queen, bro. He's a Viceroy. You know what a
He's a
Viceroy is?
Okay, so for him to have that
You know
title,
what
I know him gotta be connected. Okay, he connected. Okay, what's his name again?
Antonio Mendoza.
Okay, Antonio. Okay, what about him? Okay, what? Okay, how you making him certified?
The excerpts are directly from him. It's a primary account about what he witnessed.
Okay, how y'all gonna try to shoot down my primary sources though?
No, see, one more time. You listen. Anyway, Mendoza acknowledges in 1537 a plot for the blacks to try to take over New Mexico. I mean, not New Mexico, Mexico. My apologies. Somebody tells on the people that's trying to plot against him, and the people that told said that the Indians was involved too. So what I'm trying to tell you is we have a case here in 1537 in the month of September on the 24th. It was the month of September. They make a distinction between the Spanish, the Indians, and the blacks. 3 groups of people. These blacks that they refer to come from Africa. Same source right here. Let me share the screen. It says the enslaved Indians of the Spanish Caribbean report and accounts of 1495 to 1544. So I got you dead to right with the Spanish giving us examples of who was here, and they tell us that the Spanish said that there were Indians and that there were blacks.
So why we not the blacks?
Hold on, let me finish. Let me finish, bro. They said they got the goddamn blacks from Africa. The Negro, they called them Negro slaves. So listen, it says it right here.
Hold on, was the African descent?
Hold on,
was it the same type of niggas that they found where they found
the
Africans?
If you listen, this is before your Balboa source. So I'm about to mess you all the way up. This is how I'm getting you and Balboa out of here. It seemed to all of us, 3 monks who served as the island governors, that it would be good for them to be imported. Who is them that he is referring to? Negro slaves to be imported on the condition that they're
coming from West Africa or they coming from Spain?
Let me finish. on conditions that there be as many of women as men, and that they are brought straight from Africa. They asking for the
Hold on, what
fucking.
year is this? Hold on. You said 1495?
No, listen to me, bro. Yes.
Nah, them niggas wasn't bringing niggas straight. Hold on, stop it, Sean P. Them niggas wasn't bringing niggas straight from Africa in 1495. They just
No,
started bringing niggas straight from Africa
no,
into
you're not.
the 1520s.
No, you're not listening, bro. The account is from 1495 to 1544. The source that I just read to you was from 1515. It was begging. Yes, it was. Listen, they're trying to conjure up assistance from each other to vow to the queen to allow them to bring motherfuckers directly from Africa to the new world as slaves to tend to and work the lands, because the goddamn Indians wasn't being able to do that prosperously. So, like I said, dead to right, you sitting here under your belief system, and I'm specifically, I almost said specifically, like Lil Woody and Motoon, but specifically telling you that we have primary evidence that supersedes any account that you want to show. Look at this. This is from Fray Bernardina Mezzanado, who was the
Hold on, that source that you're looking at is from 15 something. That's not 14 something. That's 15 something.
I said, bro, you didn't listen to me.
18.
Did you not listen to me when I told you from 1495 to 1544? So the accounts that I am referencing are all going to be between that period of 1495 and 1544.
Hold on, 1544. It been a lot. Hold on. It's been a lot. Hold on. It done been a lot going on between that time frame. It done been so much. It done been. Hold on.
I'm waiting till you get home. Get home, because you fucking up right now. You need to be sober, but you fucking up right now. This nigga is not listening, bro. I'm trying to tell this nigga he done fucked up. Shit, this thing. Hey, Vino, get home, bro. Focus on the road, bro. You need to focus on the road, bro. I mean, you might live down the street, but you need to focus on the road. You need to focus on that road, bro. You're doing too much talking. You still talking. Why don't you shut the fuck up? You gotta listen, bro. You're doing too much talking. You gotta listen. Go listen. Get home, then talk when you done driving, bro. Because you interrupting right now, and you don't even know what you talking about, bro. I just took away Balboa, and I just took away your other source, because I went to sources that predate them to tell you that they were already importing Negroes, blacks from Africa. They was already doing it. So now you know how Negroes or blacks show up in the accounts of Balboa, because they started already bringing Negroes from Africa in the 14 shit since Columbus been over this bitch. But you don't know that. Use me for yawning. So you tripping. And look at you still talking. Bro, I just told you shut the fuck up and drive, bro. He did, man. I thought I already had Nicholas Avando up, though. I don't think I need him. Quit asking me to bring up shit, nigga. You know, you can hit the link and bring them up yourself. Vasa. Another Spanish. 1502. Pacified the island by force, subduing Native American rebellious Spaniards, with disorderly colonists being sent back to Spain in chains. Vino, you made it home yet? You made it home?
Good hero. Get that. Give him the plate.
Is you home, Vino?
Get that plate. I'm home, man. I'm home. I'm home. Fuck with me. Fuck with me.
All right. Well, you got to go on mute for about 5 minutes.
All right, bet.
Hold on, let me go down to this real quick. On 13th of February 1502, he sailed to Spain with a fleet of 30 ships. It was the largest fleet that had ever sailed to the New World. The 30 ships carried 2,500 colonists. Unlike Columbus' earlier voyages, this group of colonists was deliberately selected to represent an organized cross-section of Spanish society. The Spanish crown intended to develop the West Indies economically and thereby expand Spanish political, religious, and administrative influence in the region. Along with him, and also Francisco Pizarro, who would later explore Western South America and conquer the Inca Empire. Another ship carried Bartholomew Las Casas, who became a known protector of the Indians for exposing atrocities committed by Ovando and his subordinates. Cortez, a family acquaintance, distant relative, was supposed to sail to the Americas in an expedition, but was prevented from making the journey by injury he sustained while hurriedly escaping from the bedroom of a married woman of Medallion. The expedition reached Santo Domingo in 1502 of April, included Diego Nisasas, Vasquez de Leon, and also 13 Franciscans led by Fray Alonso de Espinar, bringing the total of the island to 25. Yeah. I mean, it ain't no effort on the run, bro. You can't. You're never gonna get around the Spanish. The Spanish they got their accounts, bro. They know who they saw when they got to this motherfucker, bro. There ain't nothing you can say or do. The Spanish know who they saw.
My nigga, I'm telling you that the nigga said that they saw Negroes.
Oh, he didn't, bro. Listen, this dude right here is already telling you what's going on. What, Donnie? You tripping that shit, bro.
Sean P. Sean P, man.
Show me a primary source.
Man, how many primary sources I gotta show you?
You ain't got none. Do you know what a primary source is?
So you saying that all of these sources I'm not really sure one primary? Is what you telling me?
I'm telling you that you don't have a primary source.
So you telling me that everything that I brought to the table wasn't primary?
You ain't showed a primary source. You don't know what one is.
What you mean? I brought the primary source to say that the blacks was in the month. This is in 1498.
Definition of a primary source.
I'm saying this is in 1498.
No, what is the definition of a primary source?
How you got a primary source going back to the 1500s?
One more time. What is What? One more time. What is a primary source?
A primary source is someone that's talking about their historical moment within
No,
that.
that is not.
Okay. So what is it?
Pull it up.
I don't know. Because everything I'm bringing up must be Peter Pan. So I'm trying to figure out how can I get in the game.
It
Because
definitely.
everything I'm bringing up is Peter Pan.
What is a primary source? You
A
got to.
primary source, I would think, is a primary sources that's talking about a specific topic within the Pacific time era that got a, you know what I'm saying, that's qualified. When I'm looking at the books, when I go into the introduction of the books, it looked like that they qualified. They ain't saying that they sci-fi. They're not saying that they is fake. None of that. They not saying that they is motherfucking trolls. They saying that they looked at certain notes and this is the doc and this is what we got from the notes. That's what I'm looking at.
No, a primary source, bro. Do you not know what a primary? I'm gonna put it on the screen for you. You still can see the screen, right?
Yes.
Okay. I want you to read the screen. Give me a second. I'm gonna pull it up so you can see. I'm gonna get you the right article so I can simplify it so that you ain't confused. I don't care how intoxicated you is today, but you have to read this. Can you see the screen? I'm gonna zoom in. You should be able to see it a little bit better.
Man, I ain't even open up the door. I gave you the key. I gave somebody the key. The key was in the car.
Man, when you get done talking to them, man, I'll mute your mic.
Okay, my bad. Okay, peace this out. I'm saying that within the documentation that we have, the documentation that I have.
No, read the screen.
The documentation that I have, if it's talking about the Christopher Columbus, if it's talking,
bro, stop.
Okay.
Read the goddamn screen, bro.
Okay, hold on. Okay, what does it say? Let me see what it say. It's just a whole bunch of different links. It's just different links.
No. Okay, hold on, my bad. Boom. You see the screen?
Okay, primary sources are the materials of a topic upon which subsequent interruptions of studies are based.
Say it with me. Subsequent interpretations.
Subsequent interpretations or studies are based. What you looking for?
Keys. You're not in the car.
What you mean? Hold on, what do you mean? The keys should be in the kitchen then. Hold on, Sean P. Hold on. The keys ain't in there? Just pull it up.
I don't know what's going on.
Hold on. I'll mute real quick.
Dang, Oregon barely won by 3. They should have lost. The Colorado game was kind of weird. Vino, where you at, man? I ain't got all day. He dropped off. He ain't got no sources. He ain't gonna read about the enslaved Africans in Mexico. I'm trying to get him to read this first so I can get back to that. But he dropped off the call. So I'm gonna give him a little bit. He don't come back too soon. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be a wrap for his you know what. Man, hit the like button, bro. What y'all doing, man? The O-line did stink it up. They got humbled. Khalil Benson got humbled. Even The Rock, he got humbled. He blew they blew too many assignments, and they couldn't handle a couple of the people on the D-line that they should have been able to handle. They should move Rock. Rock don't need to play tackle. He need to play guard. They need to move Khalil Benson outside the tackle and move The Rock back inside. But what they tried to do is they tried to put Khalil and Justin Mayers at guard to strengthen up the penetration from inside. And that wasn't good. Now, this team, Nebraska D-line was already a problem. There was going to be a problem regardless. But when they go to Colorado State next week, they're going to look a little bit better because they're going to be able to block up Colorado State. I ain't doing all that, boss. Then, because I'm finna end this shit. That's why I say that. But by the time they go to Florida and play Central Florida, they're gonna look a little bit better. But they need to reorganize. They need to reshift that line. They put in The Rock, who is naturally a guard at tackle. That ain't working for them because Khalil he tripping, and Justin Mayer doing a better job than all of them. Justin Mayer doing a better job than all of them, and then even the young guy. But they just don't have the cohesiveness right now. It's too early in the season for them to play Nebraska like that. Nebraska got a much better, you know what I mean? They got the same team they had last year. But what's funny is that the defense was going blow for blow after they gave up them fluky ass first half points. Nebraska really only scored 14 points. The pick six, you take that away, they 21. And then the interception that the linebacker don't make or haul in, it just some kind of weird way bobbled the ball up out of his own goddamn hands. I don't even know how do you, bro, you break on the pass, you got the ball, you bobble it 1, 2, 3 times, and then it goes in the air, and then the Nebraska player just catches it and walks in the end zone. That's when I knew the game was over, bro. That was fluky as hell. And then Nebraska don't score no more after that. If you take away those two, if you take away the pick six, and then what's the name of making that interception? Nebraska only got 14 points. It would have been a low-scoring, defensive, drag-out game. That's what this game was going to be. Until Colorado figured out, let me take out one of my receivers. Let me bring in the tight end. Let me motion the tight end. Let me try to get some help along the lines. Let's scheme up some run plays to help our fucking run game. Just so we can get a little bit balanced, because when Shedeur showed them signs of getting down the field, then the motherfuckers couldn't even score. They had a field goal block. It should have been 13-28 or 13-14. I mean, it's weird, bro. When you go back and rewatch the film, it gets crazy. What's up, Voss? He ain't coming back. I already got this right here. The first blacks.
All right. What's good, Sean? Yeah, that was the quickest way I could think of to get you to the primaries, though, without
No,
sending you a rabbit trail.
I already got the permit. I got this whole shit.
All
And I brought
right.
this shit out a long time ago.
Right, right.
Yeah, I got.
It's sad they don't know this, but then again, I don't expect many to
Hold
go
on,
in them depths. But
hold
yeah,
on. Let me get this nigga to read this shit.
Vasa. Uh, hey, Vasa, what's up with you? You good, Vasa? Vasa, you good, Vasa?
yeah, I'm good. Just trying to get my boys to sleep.
Okay. I just want to make sure. I just want to make sure you good in Oklahoma, my nigga. I just want to make sure you good in Oklahoma.
Vino, read the screen.
Yeah.
Read the screen, Vino.
Primary sources are the materials of a topic upon which
Subsequent
interpretations or studies. Hold on, man. I'm kind of lagging behind. Let me come back in because I'm lagging.
Mm.
I'm good now. Am I good?
Read it, man.
Okay. Primary sources are the materials of a topic which. Damn, why my shit coming back so late?
It's not coming back so late. YouTube is backed up. Quit listening on YouTube and read the goddamn shit.
Okay. This just sound crazy. Okay, which interpretations or studies are based anything from first-hand documents such as poems, diaries, court records, or interviews to research results generated by experiment, surveys, etymologies, and so on. Primary sources are records of events as they are first described, uh, usually by witnesses or people who were involved in the event. Many sources, many primary sources were created at the time of the event, but can include memoirs or interviews or accounts that were recorded later. Visual materials such as photos, or original artwork, posters, or in films are important primary sources not only for the factual information they contain, but also for the insight that they may provide how people view their world.
All right, so hold on. So when I showed you this shit a second ago, we talking primary sources. This primary source again is from 1537. And it's talking about enslaved Africans in Mexico.
Time out. How are you labeling that? How are you labeling that a primary source?
Okay. I'm going to give it to you one more time. It says the report of Antonio de Mendoza, the viceroy of New Spain, to King Charles I of Spain. These are excerpts from the primary source. How do you know it's the primary source? It's right here on the screen, bro. The source right there. This right here is the source. And it's going to tell you where they got it from etc., etc. So we dealing with primary information. Look, King Charles I of Spain was also Emperor Charles V of the Holy Roman Empire at this time of the Protestant Reformation. So we ain't got to play no games. Now that we know we're dealing with the primary, as you look right here, this is written in their fucking language. We see it. So when I told you that,
But
like I
that
said,
picture is
hold
not
on,
100.
hold on. When I told you before that they made a description of 3 different groups of people, the white people, the black people, and the goddamn Indians, I didn't make up shit. They knew where the black people came from because they brought the motherfuckers there. And they're telling you that. When you started reading this and I started telling you that they wanted to get the niggas from Africa, it was a wrap. That was in the 1500. So don't play no games with me.
But that little bit of documentation is not describing everybody
Oh,
over
bro.
there. That's
This
just a little bigger.
this
That's
is
just a little
before.
bit.
No, this is before Vasquez and Balboa. Way before Vasquez and Balboa. And it's telling you that there was already Africans in Mexico.
But they're talking about the islands.
Bro, and then I showed
They
you the
talking
one
about
that's
the
talking
islands.
Bro, I showed you the one that's talking about the islands because it says Hispaniola. It says Spanish Caribbean, Cuba, all of that.
Hispaniola is the islands.
Okay, so one more time for your motherfucking ass. One more time. Read, you see the screen? Read this right here. Read this right here. Highlighted in blue. Let me zoom in so you can really see it. Read it. All the settlers from Hispaniola.
Hey man, I'm 10 to 12. Hey man, I'm 10 to 12 seconds behind. I'm 10 to 12 seconds behind. So let me log out and log back in. Hold on.
No, you not, bro. You trying to listen to this shit on YouTube. This is the worst shit in the world, bro.
Okay, we good?
Nigga, you wasn't behind.
I was behind because I was listening to my auto that I was getting, and the auto was just sounding way too crazy for me to be going back and forth. That's why I kept going back in. Okay, let me read. Okay, let me read. All the settlers of Hispaniola beg your highness to forgive them permission to import Negroes. Hold on, time out. What year is this?
Okay, this is one more time. 15, 15. Let's say 1560s, bro. Let's just say that. Even though it's
1516, so this is after Balboa.
No. This is actually 1518. Here you go, right here.
This is after Balboa. Okay, hold on. Okay, let me read that. Let me read that part.
Balboa. Let
me read that part.
This is before Balboa. It is 1518.
No, Balboa is 1513. So all the settlers.
He is not 15.
All the settlers of Hispaniola beg your highness to forgive the permission to import Negroes because they say that the Indians do not provide them with enough labor to be able to support themselves there. It seems to all of 3 months who served as island governors that it would be good for them to be imported on conditions that there be as many or more women as men, that they are brought straight from Africa.
Read it again. What did they say?
Hold on. What year is this for them to be saying that they brought straight from Africa? What year?
Read the source again, bro.
It's not giving us no year. It's just saying they brought straight from Africa. I want to know what year.
I just told you, bro.
Okay. They wasn't bringing people straight from Africa until the 1560s.
No, that's not true.
Yes.
No, that's
true.
not. No,
I'm
it's
talking
not.
about straight from Africa.
They've been bringing people straight from Africa, nigga. They just wasn't bringing a mass amount of people. It'll be
They
several.
wasn't doing no boat straight from Africa to the Caribbeans. Nigga,
Who's
hold on.
fucking
Stop,
lying? Who
Sean P.
the fuck
Because
do
them
you
niggas wasn't even shipping people to motherfucking Brazil at that time.
Who do you think?
Stop it. They wasn't shipping
Who do
people.
you think on the goddamn?
They wasn't even shipping people to Brazil at that time.
Who was on the ship with Columbus? Was it not 2 black people on the ship with Columbus? I'm gonna ask you one more time. Was it not 2 black people on the ship from Columbus with Columbus on that ship? Was it or was it not? We can't hear you. You muted, nigga. You muted.
P. I'm telling you that. I'm telling you, Sean P. From motherfucking.
You ain't telling me nothing. There were
I'm
black
telling you, Sean P. From
on the
motherfucking
ship.
1490.
No, from 1492 on up, there were Africans on ships that crossed the Atlantic. They were already
But they was coming from Spain. They didn't come.
Go look on the floor of the car.
They were
Okay.
coming.
I'm saying,
from-
they didn't start coming straight from Africa until the 60s.
No, listen, bro. Listen, I'm gonna say this real slow. How do you think the Africans got to Spain?
Came from. You talk about from Spain, right?
How did the Africans get to Spain?
Because they was Berbers.
No, wrong.
Yeah, they was the first ones, Berbers.
All right, y'all. This is the end of this shit. I ain't got the patience. The motherfuckers told us where they got the goddamn. Listen. So I'm gonna do this real quick, and then I'm getting the fuck out of here because I can't do this shit. So everybody knows that I've showed this source over and over. Got a whole goddamn show on the first blacks in the Americas. We can go directly to the manuscripts and go to the first manuscript of 1501. In the manuscript, this is by 1501, enslaved blacks raised in Spain were already seen as a convenient labor force of the Spanish colonization of the Americas, but non-Christianized blacks were banned. So they would Christianize the blacks so that they could send their fucking ass on. This is a primary source, Vino. We can get the commentary off it. We can see what's going on. We can deal with it in specifics. This is directly a primary. We have it right here, bro. We ain't gotta make up shit. We don't have to make up a motherfucking thing. It's right here. We can translate it. It's right there. That no converts or heretics or Moors or Jews go to the Indies, may black slaves or slaves that have been born under the power of Christians be allowed to go. These people were with them on their trips to the Americas. I don't understand how you don't know this shit when we sit here with the primaries and we can deal with that. So I'm just gonna break it down to you real quick. The first person of African descent known to have arrived in La Española in modern times was Juan Marino or Juan Petro or John the Black. A free, by all indications, young black man who accompanied Columbus as a servant in 1492 and 93 expeditions, and years later after Columbus passing, and as a more mature man under the name Juan Portuguese or John the Portuguese, engaged in the colonization of Central America. During the 2 decades that followed, there were cases of free blacks, both sexes, who went across the Atlantic to Hispaniola on their own will as free individuals. But most of the recorded cases that we know of blacks forcibly brought into the colony by Spaniards or other Europeans who wanted to use them either as laborers in mining activities in search of gold and domestic servants. This is what I mean. We have the fucking manuscripts. Excuse my language, but goddamn, V-Note, you can't just sit here and just run your mouth, bro. We got the evidence. I ain't got time for this. I don't even know what you be talking about, bro. You be... Fuck Black Egypt. That ain't no goddamn real fight. That shit been settled. But listen, man, I'm about to get the fuck up out of here, bro. I ain't got time for this shit. Maybe tomorrow I might crank it up, go live, and we'll get to it. Please like, share, subscribe. Mess with the information. Share it. We out. Triple OG.
How the fuck y'all find an African in my fucking family, but y'all ain't find
his
y'all?
own genealogy.
Shut the fuck up. That don't make sense, for one. Listen, y'all don't know what y'all
I
did.
don't feel like you standing on business.
Y'all lied on me, because y'all don't even know if that's me. And if y'all can trace that shit back to his me, it's only 2 people in YouTube that got my information.
Yeah, he died by his own genealogy. You ain't an Indian, you ain't got a lot of meat. Half of this track, best believe you lose a lot of sleep. Probably because you made it up to us honestly. You ain't a Cherokee, nope. You ain't a Chickasaw, nope. You ain't a Blackfoot, nope. Nigga, get lost. You just a fool with low comprehension. So I gotta come through with the henchmen. NAC, Sean P, Shy Son, Lucky. Don't forget Jay, got no time to play. Caught an apple slipping with his genealogy. Now he's a con and I ain't talking about a singer. I'm coming for the top apple leader. He ain't a teacher, he's a preacher. He can't keep up, so we leave him. Yeah, he died by his own genealogy. You ain't an Indian, you ain't got a lot of me. Half of the track, best believe you lose a lot of sleep. Probably because you made it up to us possibly. You ain't a Cherokee, no. You ain't a Chickasaw, no. You ain't a Blackfoot. Nigga, get lost. You just a fool with low comprehension. So I gotta come through with the henchmen. NAC, Sean P, Shy Son, Lucky. Don't forget Jay, got no time to play. Caught an apple slipping off his genealogy. Now he's a con. OTK. TKO. Now he's a con. OTK. You died. TKO. Genealogy.